Millionaire was imprisoned on a remote island, awaiting his execution. Being a millionaire, he decided to bribe the prison guard to help him escape by any means and at any cost. The guard told him that security was extremely tight and that no one ever left the island except in one case, death. But the temptation of the promised millions led the guard to come up with a strange escape plan, which he shared with the millionaire. Listen, the only thing that leaves this prison island without heavy security is the coffins of the dead. They are placed on a ship and transported to the mainland with a few guards. The bodies are then quickly buried in cemeteries with minimal rituals before the guards return. The coffins are transported daily at 10 in the morning, but only if there are dead bodies. The only solution is for you to hide inside one of the coffins with the deceased inside. Once you reach the mainland and the coffin is buried, I will take an emergency leave that day and come back after half an hour to dig you out. After that, you give me what we agreed upon, I return to the prison, and you disappear. Your disappearance will remain a mystery, but that won't matter to either of us. What do you think? The millionaire thought it was a crazy plan, but it was still better than execution. The important thing was that he agreed. They made a deal. He would sneak into the morgue and hide inside the first coffin on the left. That is, if he was lucky and there was a death that night. The next day, during the prisoner's usual outdoor break, the millionaire sneaked into the morgue and found 2 coffins. At first, he was horrified by the idea of lying inside a coffin with a corpse. But once again, his survival instinct took over. He opened the coffin with his eyes tightly shut to avoid the terror of what lay inside, then threw himself on top of the dead body and waited. Moments later, he heard the guards preparing to transport the coffins onto the ship. He began to feel the movement step by step lifted onto the ship, sensing its motion over the water and catching the scent of the sea. When they finally reached the mainland, the guards unloaded the coffin. He overheard one of them commenting on the unusual heaviness of the corpse, sending a wave of fear and anxiety through him, but his tension eased when another guard laughed, making a joke about overweight prisoners. He felt a slight sense of relief now. He could feel the coffin being lowered into the grave, the sound of sand scattering over its lid, and the chatter of the guards fading away little by little. And now, he was buried 3 meters deep with the corpse of a stranger, surrounded by complete darkness. Breathing became harder with each passing minute. No matter. He didn't trust that guard, but he did trust his love for the promised millions. He was sure the guard would come. He waited, shifted uncomfortably. His breathing grew faster, shallower. The heat was suffocating. No problem. Just 10 more minutes and he would breathe freedom, see the light again. He started coughing. Another 10 minutes passed. The oxygen was running out and the guard still hadn't come. He heard a distant sound. His heartbeat quickened. It must be the guard, finally. But then the sound faded away. A wave of hysteria swept over him. Did the corpse just move? His mind played cruel tricks. He imagined the dead man smirking mockingly. Then he remembered he had matches in his pocket. Desperately, he pulled one out to check his watch. There had to be time left. He struck a match. A faint glow flickered to life, fighting against the suffocating darkness despite the dwindling oxygen. He brought the flame closer to his watch. More than 45 minutes had passed. Panic set in and a terrifying thought crossed his mind. He had to see the dead man's face. With trembling hands, he turned slowly, bringing the flame closer, and then he saw the last thing he ever expected in his life. The guard's face, it was him. He was the dead man.